What is going on, guys? We are working on my Offroad 240 once again. I'm trying to take the car out soon, and there's a couple things that I want to get done to it. One major thing is I want to make an actual intake for this, because right now we just have the filter sitting on the turbo, and my tuner actually recently did a test with a different car where they had the filter just on the turbo, and they did the tune and everything with that, and it made X amount of power. And then they made an intake which brought in air from outside the engine bay. And with the same tune, nothing changed, just did some power pulls. It made like 27 more horsepower and some more torque. I'll put screenshots on the screen. It also made 2 more pounds of boost, which is very interesting because, you know, if you're getting colder air, then the air is denser, so make more power. I really don't even need more power, but it's probably better for everything if I just get the air from away from the motor, because just having the filter right here, I haven't had any problems. My intake temps are always super high because I drive this thing in the desert, which if you're new, you know, it's Offroad 240. We got other videos on that. I always have pretty high intake air temps because we drive this thing in the desert where it's usually like 100 degrees Fahrenheit plus. So my air intake temps are usually pretty hot. I don't really plan on adding like meth injection to this thing to get my intake air temps down. It's just one more system to fail, and I like how super simple this thing is. It's been so reliable. I don't even have like power steering or anything. There's literally nothing on the motor that doesn't absolutely need to be there. But anyways, I was originally planning on just bringing it to right here, and I figured, you know what, we could have cold air coming in through here. There's already that big existing hole, so air's going to be coming through there for sure. And if anything, I could probably make the hole bigger. But I changed my mind, and what I want to do is still bring the pipe this way, but then I want to go straight and actually have the filter sitting right here on the outside. I've been cutting out a bunch of pipe cuts just to have, because it takes forever for me to cut them because I use a bandsaw. I really do need to upgrade one day. I want to get a cold cut saw because you just... This is all that I have left of 3-inch stainless, so I'm hoping that's enough. I am now changing my mind. In order to have it under here and tuck it up as high as I would want to, it's too much work. There's too much stuff going on under the headlight. There's just the way that everything is mounted, and I also have my intercooler piping running right under there too, so that doesn't help. So what I have decided to do is throw the filter here, and I'm going to be making a little like duct in order for the air to get scooped in through there and go up into the engine bay. And I'm going to be putting some mesh right at the beginning just to protect against like big rocks. Obviously going to be making that out of metal, and then I'm going to be cutting out of here whatever the dimensions are for the actual duct, and that'll feed us some fresh air into there. And I think that's going to end up working out better than just having it out here, because I would have to have it hanging down quite a bit, and I don't really want that. It's just too in the way, and I really don't want my filter to fail in any way and have rocks go right into my turbo. That's the new plan, so that basically means I can just cut the intake short and then fully weld up there, and then intake's done. So the intake is now done, fully welded. I just threw it on just to mock up, just make sure I like it. It's not as clean as I wanted. I don't know what I was expecting, because there's not really a way for it to really look any better, apart from, you know, better welds. But we're not gonna talk about that. We're about to take it off because we have our little duct right here, this guy, just cooling off. I just ground everything down, but it's got mesh at the front, and it's a little like ramp, so when it's angled, the air is gonna hit this and go up. On the bottom here, I marked out where the actual duct is gonna go. So what I'm gonna do is end up cutting a little bit over and cut out there, so we still have material that we can weld to. And this is the thinnest metal I had that would work for this. It's 14 gauge, so we're gonna have to be careful when we're welding it. I don't really want to blow holes into this thing. And another thing that sucks is because this isn't perfectly flat, we're gonna have some gaps that I'm gonna have to fill, so I just want to get it cut out and then tack the actual duct up there, see how I like it, and then go from there. Okay, so now you can see we got a big ass hole there, so there's not really any going back now. Okay, so this is going pretty poorly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to get a couple beads along the back. I have tacks on the other side, and I'm just going to run some silicone all around it just to insulate it just a little bit. It's honestly not like a big deal. This isn't like super important to the performance of this car. It was just like an idea that I had. As soon as I have the puddle, and then I just move it up just a little bit just to touch the thin material, it just blows away and it just becomes a hole. It's on there pretty solid as is, but I do want to try and make it look decent because it looks awful. So I'm gonna try to put some weld in there. Hopefully I don't end up making more holes, but I do like how it's turning out. Like, look at that. It's just kind of like stealth a little bit. It's just a little hidden. Pretty much sits right under the actual like bash bar. On the inside, it doesn't really look that good. You can see where the tacks are and everything. It's gone through the paint. This paint I painted a long time ago, and I'm not too attached to it. It's already gotten messed up in a few ways, so it's not the end of the world. But what I want to attempt is to like hammer this down so it just sits flat against this plate. Okay, so I put the silicone on. Like I said, just to seal it. The plate is on there, very sturdy. It's not gonna go anywhere. This is just so it, one, looks a little bit better and seals it. That's gonna turn clear. And then tomorrow when it's dry, I'm gonna just paint it. Probably do the spray on bed liner like I did for the rest of the wheel well. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied with how that came out. So the intake is done, like you guys saw. I actually just real quick painted. I put on a couple coats of some spray can bed liner on the actual like ducting. I use that because that's what I used on the wheel wells a long time ago when I first like went through and built this car. But I'm planning to take the car out soon, so hopefully we'll know if our intake times are affected at all from this or if this was just pointless. And we might get a little bit of turbo flutter because the sound, once the blow-off valve goes, not all the air is going to come out of there. There's still going to be a little bit excess left over, so we might get a little bit of a flutter from the air bouncing off the walls of the intake. I'm pretty sure we will because we're running 23 pounds of boost, and on my Skyline we're running stock boost with the same blow-off valve and we get flutter. So I'm pretty sure if we're basically tripling the stock boost that we're going to get some flutter. I'm totally okay with that. It's not going to damage the turbo or anything. The guys in Australia are insane with their flutter and they're not having issues, so there's no reason why I should. One thing I am worried about is this thing bouncing around. I try to angle it down as much as I can so it's sort of just resting on the wheel well there. But yeah, that's another thing we'll find out. If I have to make a super elaborate bracket, then I guess I'll have to. If I don't have to, I don't want to, so I'm really trying to not have to. So stay tuned for the video where we take this thing out. If you guys haven't seen the videos where we do that, I'll have a playlist up in the corner you guys can check out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Peace.